Humans walk away quietly. The Galactic Council witnessed the consequences of their blunder. HFY council chamber was built to make visitors feel small. The ceiling vanished into shadow. The floor was black glass. A ring of seats rose like a cliff around one simple human table. Councillor Vesh of Kaltia watched the humans with a thin smile. The vote had gone the council's way. The High Speaker lifted the speaking stone and announced the result. By council decision, the Terran Union will surrender access codes to the GateNet. Terran engineers will remain on duty under council control. A wave of proud noise moved through the chamber, dotted the human table. Ambassador Cyril Holt stood. She did not shout. She did not argue. She simply placed a thin black card on the table. "This is a notice," she said. "Terran personnel will withdraw from council space in 3 days. After that, we will not maintain the GateNet." Laughter. Answer Vesha joined it. "You cannot walk away," he called. "You need our ports." Cyril Holt looked at him as if he was a stranger. "No," she said quietly. "We needed peace. We got it. Now we choose." She turned. Captain Noah, our IOS, and Dr. Mina Kareem followed. The human delegation walked out without hurry. The tall doors closed with one heavy sound. For a moment, the chamber felt colder. Vesh told himself it was nothing. 3 days later, the first ship vanished. A cargo hauler entered a trade lane that had been safe for decades. Its beacon light flickered, turned to static, and then the ship was gone. No distress call, no wreck. Just empty space. By nightfall, 47 ships were missing. The council called an emergency session. The High Speaker slammed the stone down. "This is Terran sabotage," he roared. "They built the GateNet. They must fix it." Archivist Keo of Rill, a thin, gray-feathered record keeper, stepped into the lower ring. "Honored ones," Keo said, "the GateNet is not only machines. It is also tuning." The High Speaker sneered. "Tuning?" Keo's voice trembled but stayed firm. "Hyperspace is not dead," he said. "It reacts. Humans learn how to keep it calm. They do it with patterns, timing, and sound." Vish felt his frills stiffen. "Sound in space?" Keo nodded. "Not air sound. Signal, sound. A low pulse, a steady rhythm." The High Speaker waved a hand. "Then we will seize their stations and force them to tune," Vesh agreed. "Because pride is easy when danger feels far away." Danger moved fast. Without the GateNet, the lanes did not just become rough. They became wrong. Maps lied, clocks drifted. Some ships arrived days late, with crews shaking in half. Some arrived early, with frozen food still warm and engines screaming broken time. And sometimes ships vanished like the first. On the second day, a council frigate came out of hyperspace inside a moon. The moon did not notice. The council did fit. Spread through 1,000 worlds at once. The council ordered Marines to seize Beacon 9, a quiet deep lane station. Humans had always guarded. The Marines expected weapons. They found human workers packing crates and leaving. That made the Marines angry. They searched deeper. They found a hidden chamber behind soft shields. Inside was a dark object, warm and smooth, the size of a shuttle or an egg. The Marines thought it was a power core, a secret weapon, a prize. One of them fired a pulse shot. The egg cracked. The crack made no noise in air. It made noise in bone across the lanes. Beacons blinked and died, one after another like lights in a storm. Keo watched the reports and went pale. "That was not a core," he whispered. "That was a seal." Vesa did not understand. "Not yet." Then the first thing appeared on the edge of a trade lane. It slid out of the folds between real space and hyperspace like a shadow slipping. Under a door dot, it had wings like sheets of darkness, eyes like holes where light should be. A patrol ship saw it. The ship's lights died. Its heat vanished. Its crew screamed, but the screams did not travel. The shadow passed through the hull. The patrol ship drifted, cold and dead. The council's screens filled with new warning symbols. They had no name for them, Keo did. "Void drakes," he said, voice tight. "Ash-winged dragons, old beings that live in the lanes. They stay quiet when the lanes are calm." Vesh stared. "Dragons are stories." Kio shook his head. The stories were warnings. The High Speaker's pride cracked. "We need the humans," he said. Now, the council sent messages to Earth's threats first, no reply. Demands next, no reply. Begging last. A reply finally came. But not from Earth. A screen lit in the council chamber. Captain Noah Rios appeared, calm and tired. "Council members, NOAH, RIOS said, The Terran Union has completed withdrawal. We are no longer under your rule. The lanes are failing, the hide speaker said, voice raw. You must fix the gate net. Noah Rios shook his head once. You took it? He said. You also took the duty? Visa slammed a claw on his desk. People are dying. Noah Rios did not flinch. We warned you, he said. You tried to put collars on our engineers. You tried to seize what you did not understand. His eyes turned hard. You also broke Beacon 9. Vesh forced his voice steady. What did we break? Noah Rios paused, as if listening to something beside him. At Beacon 9, he said, your Marines shot a hatchling. The chamber went silent. KIO's feathers rose in shock. The egg was a child, Noah Rios said. A treaty seal, a promise. The high speaker swallowed. A treaty with whom? Noah Rios's voice dropped. With a mother, Visa and Kyo traveled to a Terran relay station under a white flag signal because there was no pride left to protect them. The station was plain, clean, quiet. Humans walked past without staring or spitting hate. That, somehow, felt worse. Siraholt met them in a control room full of red marks on a star map. Those are missing ships, Kyo whispered. Siraholt nodded. Yes, you're missing ships. Vesh bowed his head. The words hurt, but they had to come out. We were wrong, he said. We need help. Siraholt's face did not soften. What you need, she said, and what you deserve, are not always the same. Noah Rios stepped in and pointed at the map. 3 problems, he said. 1. The gate net is not tuned. 2. Storms return without the tuning. 3. The mother heard her child scream. Verge felt cold. Can you stop her? We can try, Siraholt said, but we will not do it as slaves. She laid out terms like bolts on a table. First, she said, a public apology in the council chamber. Real words. Second, Noah Rios said, join control of the gate net. No forced labor. No seizures. Third, Dr. Mina Karim added, Beacon 9 becomes a sanctuary. No weapons near it. Eva. Vesh looked at KIO. KO nodded. Vesh swallowed pride and nodded too. Done, he said. Siraholt studied him. Then we worked, she said. Asterisk. The apology happened the next day. The high speaker stood before a full chamber and said, out loud, what no high speaker had ever said. The council was wrong, he said. We acted with fear and pride. We harmed an innocent life. We asked the Terran Union to help as partners. The vote to restore joint control passed. Then the alarms rang. The mother had entered the inner lanes. She was the size of a city. Her body was thick and black, cut with red lines like hot cracks in stone. Her wings were broken shards of darkness. The Council of Peace fleet fired first. Because fear makes fools fast. Their beams did nothing, the mother breathed. A wave of cold dark rolled over the fleet. Lights died, engines stopped, ships drifted like dead leaves. The Council watched their own power collapse in minutes. Then 17 human ships arrived. No banners, no loud signals, just careful motion. With them flew something impossible. A dragon, massive and real, with bright eyes and plated scales like dying stars. A human-made harness sat along its spine. Not chains, not spikes. A saddle made to fit. On its back stood riders in pressure suits, holding rods that pulsed with soft, low light. Ko's voice broke into a whisper. Humans ride dragons. The Council expected weapons. Instead, the human ships carried strange, wide dish arrays and long beam masts, like musical tools. Their guns stayed quiet. Their engines ran low. Even their hull lights were dim. Vesh watched the data and frowned. Why are they so slow? Kyo answered, voice tight. They are being polite. Polite to what? Vesh asked. Kyo pointed at the storm patterns. To the lanes. Siraholt spoke again, and this time she did not sound angry. She sounded like a teacher who was tired of repeating the same lesson. Long ago, she said, humans tried to brute force hyperspace. We lost thousands of ships. Then one pilot heard something, a rhythm in the noise, a living beat. On the screen, old Terran footage played, a tiny ship drifting in a torn lane, its captain steadying his hands, listening instead of panicking. He sent a simple pulse back, Siraholt said. Not a threat, not a command, a greeting. The footage showed a dark shape moving near the ship, circling, not attacking. Then a second pulse came back, softly curious. That was first contact. Cyril said. Not with a government. With the Ashwing. Vesh felt his throat tighten. The humans had made peace with creatures the council called myths, and they had done it with patience. And the Egyo asked, almost afraid. Asio, no Ario said. A promise that humans would keep a sanctuary and keep the lanes quiet in return. The Ashwing would not hunt the ships that traveled with respect. Vesh understood the shape of the blunder now. The council had not stolen a machine. They had broken a promise and shot the proof of it. Sierra Holt's face appeared on the council screen. We never owned them, she said. We made friends. The dragon in the ships began a low pulse. A steady rhythm that matched the old beacons is the lull song, Sierra Holt said. It tells hyperspace we are not hunting. The storms paused, as if listening. The mother slowed. She tilted her head. For the first time, Vesh felt the shape of her anger. It was not random. It was aimed. A shuttle left the human fleet. It was small, unarmed, and it flew straight toward the mother. The council held its breath. Inside the shuttle was Dr. Mina Karim, carrying a sealed container. The shuttle stopped near the mother's face. The low song softened into a low sad no. Mina Karim stepped out in a pressure suit and drifted forward. She pressed the container against the mother's scales. The mother did not strike. For a long moment, the only thing in the galaxy was the steady pulse of the song. Then the mother made a sound that was not a roar. It was grief. The void drakes around her swirled, hungry and sharp, but the song held them back like an invisible fence. The mother lowered her head, touching the container like a careful hand touching a grave. She looked toward the council capital world. Vesh felt his heart freeze. Then the mother turned away, not because the council deserved it, because the humans had given her one. Last kindness. Sierra Holt's voice cut through the shaking chamber. She spared you for now, she said. Do not make us test her patience again. The next weeks were hard and ugly. Humans did not fix the lanes with one switch. They flew into storms. They anchored beacons. They tuned pulses. They sang the low song through metal and signal until hyperspace settled. Council world sent ships to help, and this time they followed human orders without arguing. Vesh joined one repair team. He watched a human engineer tighten bolts with shaking hands while gravity flickered. He watched that same engineer share water with alien crew. He watched humans rescue stranded ships, even when those ships carried people who had insulted them. On a quiet shift, Vesh stood beside Cyril Holt, looking out at the stars. You could have let us burn, he said. Cyril Holt did not look at him. Vesh, we don't stop the fire, she said. It spreads. That is the simple truth. Vesh swallowed. When you walked away quietly, we thought it meant weakness. Cyril Holt's mouth twitched, almost a smile. It meant restraint, she said. And it meant choice. She turned at last and met his eyes. Humans are not dangerous because we shout, she said. We are dangerous because we can leave, and we can survive without your praise. Vesh felt the weight of that like gravity. And why did you stay before? He asked. Cyril Holt looked back to the lanes. Because we believed you could learn, she said. Now prove it. On the day Beacon 9 reopened, Visa went there with a small escort and no weapons. Humans met them at the ring, quiet and careful. Together they placed a cracked shell inside a sealed chamber and set one small beacon to pulse like a slow heart. Far out in deep space, the mother's shadow passed once across the stars, watching. Then she turned away, and the lane stayed calm. A month later, the council met again. A new banner hung among the old ones, Beacon 9 Sanctuary. The high speaker spoke with care. The Terran Union restored the gate net, he said. The lanes are stable again. The new charter stands. No forced labor, no seizures, joint protection of the lanes. He paused and looked toward the human table. We will keep our word, he said. Cyril Holt nodded once. Not proud, not pleased, just steady. When the session ended, the humans stood to leave. Again, no drama. Again, no threats. They walked toward the doors. Vesh heard himself call out, Ambassador. Cyril Holt paused. If the mother returns, Vesh asked, will you help us again? Cyril Holt answered with simple honesty. If you keep your word, she said, she will not need to. Then she walked away. The doors closed with that same heavy sound. This time, no one laughed. The council sat in the quiet and finally understood what their blunder had cost. They had tried to take the bridge and chain the builders. They had cracked a child's egg and called it strategy. They had mistaken human silence for surrender. But humans had never surrendered. They had simply chosen restraint, and when restraint ended, the galaxy learned a lesson the dark between stars always teaches: respect. It is not decoration. It is survival.